So 7-8 is the 2-day lesson. It is that open response. So we're going to look at the properties like we did the hierarchy of like triangles, of quadrilaterals, and then now it's going to be hierarchy of a polygon. So we'll talk a little bit about what that stuff is, but I want you to start here. So think about what are at least 3 attributes that all of these shapes have in common. An attribute is like its number of sides, its length of its sides, its number of angles, the size of its angles, or if there's parallel sides, all those different sorts of things that you could kind of think about. That's what you should be doing in this part right here. So thinking about those different attributes of each of these things. So go ahead, pause the video, talk with somebody about that if you're on the same section. If not, you can actually come up and maybe share some with me. Let's talk a little bit about what some of these are. So pause it and let's have that conversation together, or you have it with somebody else. So there's a lot of different things that you could have. So all these shapes, you could have said that they are two-dimensional, that they have straight sides, there's no curved ones. They have at least 3 sides, as you can see here. Have sides that connect to form a closed path. Have sides that meet at endpoints of a line segment and do not cross. So those are just some ideas that you could come up with that you could say about these things. There's certainly a lot more that you could do. But we're going to talk about polygons. And a polygon is a 2-dimensional figure formed by 3 or more line segments, just like this, that meet only at their endpoints to make a closed path. So polygon is like the bigger thought process when you think of that the hierarchy aspect of this. So that's the definition. Remember that hierarchy with polygons, or with anything that you're going to end up doing here, is just like, what is the very top? The top part of your hierarchy is like the biggest category that you can think of. So you might have a polygon, and then right below that could be some, a bunch of different things that go along with it. Different attributes, I guess, would be the better word to say for it. So that's 255. We basically did that together. I gave you some of the answers. These are just as basically what I read from there. Like I said, hopefully you talked about that with somebody or myself before you started it. If not, you can see that these are some of the things that you could have listed. So again, getting into today a little bit, what you're going to end up doing is a lot of work making your own hierarchy, and thinking about how that's going to be. You'll have lesson 7-8 as your work that you're going to do for this, so it's something that you'll have to get besides this. But there's a lot of different sides. When you think about this, the hierarchy of polygons, use at least 8 of your polygon cards to create a hierarchy of polygons. Write a name or a description of each subcategory. So this will be something else too that you'll need to be able to cut out all of these shapes. So you'll have a couple of different things that you'll be using during this time. One thing that you could do, that you could set up as this, it'd be polygons that have 4 sides. So then you would have basically, say, an arrow coming out over this way off of your polygons saying 4 sides. And then you would end up putting a lot of that stuff down here, the shapes that do have 4 sides. Now there's a lot of different ways that you could end up doing this, and I don't want you to use 4 sides. I want you to think of something maybe a little bit different than what I had used. But you're not going to end up using all of the shapes, okay? So some of those aren't going to end up in your hierarchy over here. So you can change. Another thing to think about a little bit is like changing that higher, instead of saying 4 sides, you could have another aspect of this. So, add another thing that goes down in your hierarchy. So it might fall into here. So some of these, you think about that assignment you did before where it was like all rectangles or squares, that sort of thing. So all of these are polygons, but not necessarily all the four-sided ones fall under this different category that might be down here. It's just going to depend on how you do that. You can have a lot of different subcategories with it. So you could add different sides, all that sort of thing. So what you're going to end up doing here is you're going to have, I'll show you your Math Master that it's going to look like on this one. This is your assignment that you're going to end up doing. So on 7-2 or 7-8 it is, you're going to use at least 8 of your polygon cards to create a hierarchy of polygons. Write a name or description of each subcategory. When you're finished, sketch each polygon from your cards next to the lowest category where it fits. So you're not going to glue anything down. You're just going to put them, make it like you did. If you look back under your triangles and the quadrilaterals, you'll see how they worked some of that stuff out. These are your shapes that you're going to use here. So your student reference book is going to be a good resource for you to use. I mean, if you look at that up here, 264, 265 is going to be a good start for some of this. There's a lot of different things you could do. I mean, it's just kind of how it is. But I want you to really think about what that hierarchy is. Check back, look back into those other lessons, the previous 2 that you've done with those hierarchies. I mean, I'm thinking about the quadrilateral one, that the hierarchies that you had, the first part is quadrilateral. Your test property is it's like 4 sides and 4 angles. So you might have like trapezoids and kites would be like a different hierarchy. And then you would drop down to parallelograms and then rectangles and rhombuses and then into squares. So that's one way to think of the quadrilateral part. With polygons, you might do it a little bit different though. So just keep that in mind, to look back at those previous lessons to help you out a little bit. I don't know if you'll have a lot of questions. I'm not going to give you a lot more help with this right now. I may actually let you go here and create another video then to give you a little bit more assistance. I want you to experiment first, get this done, and then come back and watch the second part of this video to help you maybe a little bit more. But do this first and just see, hey, did I do it right or am I wrong? What else? What could I have in there? That sort of thing. So good luck with this. Give it a whirl. Have fun with it.